secret that's up. Oh, the secret up is Ice Barrier. Probably a solid time to just chuck a Doomsayer.
Excuse me, you are on.
Looks like he's going with the Medivh Ballet Ping. Because he knows both of the circles are gone, so it's hard to heal them up fully from that kind of play.
Yeah, that's it's smart forethinking because you don't really want to use your hero power as Silence Priest. Triggering the Ice Barrier.
Looks like he draws another Mad Scientist, which could, I believe, almost always pulls an Ice Block because the other Ice Barrier is in his hand.
Unless he runs Duplicate. But that's the only unless.
There must be a way.
I don't know what I'd play here. I don't play a lot of Freeze Mage, so this is a foreign scenario for me. I'd probably fireball the 4/5 and then regret it instantly.
I do not think he runs. Yeah, from the list I'm seeing, he does not run Duplicate, so the Mad Scientist will pull an Ice Block.
Yep.
I'd have to say these two decks are two that I have not personally played.
Yeah. I've played the OTK variety of Silence Priest with just a lot of really high health, low attack minions, and just tons and tons of ways to crank them up.
Although I've never done it myself, I do love the shenanigans that Lyra gets to do with some of these priest decks.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's very hard to pull off in arena, though. And there's Ice Barrier number 2.
And he gets the Ice Block.
Yeah, Shadow Visions is a very strong card right about now. You can pull any number of really strong cards for a 4. I guess that's a 9 now. I don't remember what its full health could be.
It is at its full health is 10.
Okay. Oh yeah, you can check the statuses underneath. Doesn't have to. Yeah, okay. 3 health, 4/7. Yeah, that's 10. Shadow Visions. Light of the Naru. That's an interesting tech. I don't believe that's standard for this deck.
I've seen it occasionally in there.
There's the Death Lord. Second Cabal Talon Priest, trying to spread the wealth for spread the health wealth.
He definitely has a lot of high health minions that are just plaguing the board right now,
if you will. Yeah. I'd love to be the one in charge of titling some of these decks, even though I don't make them. Because Beefy Boys would for sure be the title of this deck.
I mean, that's what Blizzard gives you, that option, right? You get to name whatever decks you want.
Yeah.
Maybe not to the public, but to yourself.
Yeah. He's really tempted to use the Potion of Madness here because he has no other card draw in his hand, and this is a pretty good board to use it on. But he decides to take the Acolyte. There's the Shadow Visions, the Divine Spirit, and if he buffs the 4/8, this could be 20 damage to face.
Yeah, the 4/8 is at 412 currently.
Mm.
So it can go to, 20, 20, which is an absolutely big minion that the Freeze Mage has to get rid of.
Yep. With what, though, is the question. Because I don't see anything in his hand that can actually get rid of it.
Yeah, that's always the
was-
difficult part.
Too
Not
off
seeing-
lethal? Feels bad.
Yep. Not seeing a whole lot of freeze effects from the Freeze Mage. Oh,
Mhm.
there's one. He just drew one.
Wow. Very clutch there.
Very
he did
nice
have
top
he did have 2 extra draws, but that's really clutch. The Shadow Word Pain is helpful, but not when there's 2 of them.
Yep, I definitely agree with what the Freeze Mage just did there, because you have to play around that Shadow Word Pain.
Wow. It's getting lucky with the draws here. It's a shame that both of the circle heals are gone. Otherwise, this would probably be game over.
Ooh, low value off the Death Lord.
Yeah. 2 Death Lords, or 2 Doomsayers, twice as hard to kill as 1 Doomsayer. That's 14 health rather than 7.
Heals back up with the Alexstrasza. Good
Normally
defensive
that's
play.
it's a pretty scary thing to do. So it's not ideal having to self-heal with Alex.
Yeah, you're never in a good situation when you have to self-heal.
But this seems to be pretty fine. It's a Silence Priest with very few cards in hand and nothing on board. Things are looking grim.
I think the Freeze Mage is starting to recognize that the Priest is not having a whole lot of minions that he can just buff up.
And that looks like it's game, actually. That's, yep. 6, 12.
13.
Yeah.
Yep.
Freeze Mage takes it over the Silence Priest. And it looks like the score's all tied up. 1-1.
Yep.
Elf and Bob.
Game went back and forth. It definitely looked in Bobby's favor for a minute there, and then those top decks just helped Elf out significantly.
And there was just no more fuel. No more fuel left for Bobby.
Yep, that Nova just was absolutely clutch.
Yep. It is 1-1 indeed.
Yep.
But yes, sorry. That was actually Inner Fire Priest. It was not Silence Priest. I just kept calling it because I didn't want to admit my mistake. Just when you screw up, just quadruple down on it. It's good advice. Good betting advice. Moving on to game 3. Elf has Mid-range Shaman and Jade Druid left. And we have no idea what Bobby has. Unless we do, and I haven't found it.
I do not believe we have his deck, so we'll have to see the matchup when the game begins.
There's a lot of mystery going on right now.
A lot of speculation.
It's taken a long time for them to consider their options. Perhaps playing that Mind Games Rock, Paper, Scissors.
It looks like Bobby's going with the what is called Gunter Mage, as it was created by Gunter, or Reno, and Elf is going with his mid-range Shaman, the high-value Medivh Guardian being put into Reno Mage has definitely made it a lot more greedier in the late game.
It's a lot of greed. It's a lot of greed. It's 8 mana followed by as much mana as you can play.
I can only assume that he plays Pyro in a deck that has Medivh the Guardian.
Yep. Yep. There's also, I don't know, if you play Medivh, is that too greedy then to ask for what's his name?
Antonidas?
Antonidas, there we go.
I think the Reno variant will run Antonidas. At least I've seen it before.
Totem Golem, turn 2. Scary plays.
Yep, gotta love Shaman. They either have the turn 1. The name of the card is actually slipping my mind right now.
Tunnel Trog.
Tunnel Trog, that's it. They'll have Tunnel Trog and a Totem Golem, or Tunnel Trog in their starting hand.
Mm-hmm. You're almost guaranteed it. There being 30 cards and you getting essentially 8 cards mulligan.
Yep.
It's absolutely terrifying, statistics-wise.
Yes, and Tunnel Trog going into Totem Golem or Jade Claws is just absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, he's is he going for the trade with his face?
I think he's considering it.
Probably should. And attacking first, neat distinction. I might not have attacked first. Assuming that it's Freeze Mage, it could end up being Ice Barrier, and you want to pop that before you get to do any funky stuff with Medivh's Valet.
Primordial Glyph into an Ice Block.
That's a lot of value.
Yes, it is. In my opinion, it's better than the other 2 choices that he has. But he goes with Counterspell.
Huh. It's a face race for Elf here. Stealing significant damage, but at least the Trailblazer is a minion that he can't just ignore.
This jungle hides many secrets.
Personally, I love this card. I love at
It's
least the
amazing.
Trailblazer. Yep.
It's such a weird card too, because it's very difficult to play in the late game if you're working with certain deck archetypes. And wow, the Counterspell doing big work here.
Definitely just proved me wrong.
It's difficult to play with certain archetypes that have their hand full at the end of the game, because it's difficult to like pace yourself when using the pack, because there's only a limited amount of space in your hand. But other than that, it's a lot of value.
Oh yeah, and there's just something about opening a pack within the game. It's just satisfying.
Just kind of sticking it to Blizzard. I found a workaround.
Yeah, free to play, by the way.
Dr. 7 on 6. Interesting to play into a Sylvanas.
It does generate those little 1/1s. I mean, the boombots are still very dangerous.
Yeah.
But generating more minions that could potentially lead to a bad outcome for Sylvanas.
And here he's got the option of Volcanic Potion and almost guaranteedly steal Dr. Boom.
Yep, and boombots decide to go face, which is not ideal. Hopefully hitting the Sylvanas to take that Dr. Boom and take the damage off the face.
What he could do here is he could Forbidden Flame his own Sylvanas just to steal it, or Frostbolt it, although I don't think you want to do that.
I wonder.
Or he could just trade, save his resources.